as they seek to advance political and development goals for the Mount Kenya region. In a meeting held on Saturday at Karua's home in Kirinyaga, Gachagua acknowledged Karua's vast experience in politics, describing her as a valuable ally in driving progress for the region. He emphasized that the political partnership will be grounded in regular consultations, highlighting Karua's strategic insights and courage, which he believes are crucial for overcoming the challenges facing the Mount Kenya region. This marks the first significant political meeting between Gachagua and Karua since Gachagua was removed from office as deputy president. Gachagua, speaking to the press after the meeting, called on the youth, particularly from the Gen Z generation, to register as voters and actively participate in the upcoming 2027 general elections. He encouraged them to take ownership of the electoral process to bring about change in Kenya's political landscape.
I want to affirm my children, my sons and daughters, the Gen Zs. Please carry on. You are doing a good job. And don't fear. Because if you don't, there is nobody else to do it. All institutions of oversight have been compromised. The Parliament, the National Assembly, the Senate. The opposition has been neutered. And I told President William Ruto to stop crying about the Gen Zs because it's his own creation, because nature abhors vacuum. Once you neuter the opposition, you compromise the institutions of oversight. Since nature abhors vacuum, another group will come up. And that is how our young people have come up to fill in that gap. But I want to tell the Gen Zs that what you are doing on the smartphone is very good, and we want to encourage you and we want to say congratulations. But it is not enough. The actual transformation of this great republic will be on the ballot. The public awareness on smartphone is good, A1. But the real transformation, the final transformation of getting a good country with good leaders will be on the ballot. So I want to ask the Gen Zs to register, to take IDs, register as voters, to make sure they have IDs and they have registered as voters. So good people, I want to say that I'm very happy. And we have had a good conversation with the Honorable Mother Wangari Karua, and we have agreed going forward we are going to work together with other Kenyans. And I want to assure you there are many Kenyans who are looking for leadership. We'll work together with other like-minded Kenyans, patriots, people who really care for this country. And I want to say that ourselves and many leaders are prepared. That we are not scared and we cannot be intimidated. Because if we buy fear, this country will be in a very big quagmire.
At the same time, Kenya leader Macharia has announced plans to transform her political party and launch a new political movement ahead of the 2027 general elections. In her address, Karua hinted at significant changes within her party, promising to unveil the new party as soon as part of her preparations for the upcoming elections. Karua also strongly condemned the rising cases of abductions in the country, urging Kenyans to unite and defend the nation against such crimes. She called on citizens to take a stand in protecting Kenya's sovereignty and insecurity. In a bold move, Karua accused President William Ruto of attempting to silence opposition leaders by restricting their movements across various parts of the country. This, she claimed, was in defense of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was faced ongoing attacks during his political engagements.
We are saying no to making Kenya the capital of abductions in East Africa. We must push back. Fear is not an option. Hata ukiogopa atakukujia chini ya kitanda mahali umejificha. Wacheni tusimame tuseme la to William Ruto directly. I'm telling you, as Kenyans, we will not allow you to graduate as a dictator, because that's what you are trying. Si ungependa ukirudi Sugoi pia urudi ukafuge kuku zako kwa amani. Wachana na wengine, wachana na ndugu yangu atembee mahali anataka kutembea. Wewe tembea ile mahali unataka kutembea. Hatutakuuliza, lakini hatutakubali utufungie na kufuli Kama matusi ndio unataka, endelea nayo. Hiyo tutakuachia, be the king of insults. Sisi tutaendelea vile tunaelewa heshima si utumwa. Tumeona wengine wetu tunakuwa recruited kuanza fujo. Tumekaa kwa amani. Kama unataka mkutano, tafadhali fanya yako. Usiende kwa mkutano wa mwenzako ukipeleka watu muharibu. Ametamuka ana support William Ruto. Hiyo ni haki yako, Maina Jenga. Hatuwezi kudhulumu kwa sababu ya kusupport yule unataka. Lakini pia wewe usikubali kutumika kwa njia isiyoeleweka. Na usipeleke vijana kuharibu mkutano wa wenyewe. Ulisema wewe ni pastor. Itana mkutano wako wa maombi. Na utaomba na hatuta disturb. I have been leader of NARC Kenya, but we have rebranded. We will be launching our brand soon, next month. Or are we already in? Yeah, next month of February. And the name is People's Liberation Party, PLP. Na musifikiria tume-apply jana. We applied for those names in May of last year, long before there were the protests. But the process is just becoming complete. I know I have heard my brother is likely also to be launching, but I'm inviting you all. PLP ni nyumba kubwa. Mukisikia mnataka kuingia, njooni tutembee.
Alright, moving on, Guinea-Bissau has officially endorsed Kenya's Raila Odinga for the upcoming AU chairmanship elections. The endorsement was confirmed during a state visit by Guinea-Bissau President Umaro Sissoco Embalo, who met with Kenya's President William Ruto at the State House in Nairobi. The two leaders witnessed the signing of cooperation agreements between Kenya and Guinea-Bissau aimed at enhancing bilateral trade, infrastructure development, and supporting educational programs focused on health, agriculture, and tourism. In his address, President William Ruto welcomed his counterpart, emphasizing the importance of strengthening ties between the two nations for mutual growth and prosperity. The endorsement of Raila Odinga for the AU chair leadership further underscores the increasing diplomatic relations between the two countries and their shared commitment to continental unity.
As my brother, President Ruto has just mentioned that Guinea-Bissau and Kenya are two countries, two brotherly countries. We share the same values and we want to achieve the same objectives, economic development and social progress. Our two countries are also engaged in the preservation of peace and stability in Africa. Also, I can guarantee my brother and friend William Ruto that Guinea-Bissau, through myself, supports you, and we want to reiterate our commitment to peace in South Sudan and also in Sudan. And recently I received President Burhan. We discussed and we spoke at great length about peace and the role of President Ruto in achieving this peace.
And to thank you most sincerely for supporting Kenya's candidature of the Africa Union Commission, as I informed you earlier last year, and to in a very special way recognize your efforts in not only supporting the Honorable Raila Odinga, but also canvassing support for him in Western Africa. We very sincerely thank you, Mr. President, for that friendship and brotherhood that you have demonstrated. You have asked me that we need to have a conversation with Kenya Airways so that we can again expand the route network of Kenya Airways to include Guinea-Bissau. And I have undertaken that we will be having that conversation with the Ministry of Transport and Kenya Airways to see how we can create better connectivity to move people, to move ideas, to move goods between our countries, and to enhance communication between the West and East and between Kenya and Guinea-Bissau.
All right, moving on to matters education now, and more than 600,000 candidates who sat for their KCSE exams in 2024 are expected to start applying for courses offered at the Kenya Medical Training College, that is KMTC, and Technical Vocational Education Training TVETs. This follows the opening of the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service portal. The portal targets students who did not score a mid-grade of C+ and above to secure direct entry to university. CEO Agnes Wahome has confirmed that the placement service has, for the first time, adopted a phased application process starting with Kenya Medical Training College and Technical Vocational Institutions to allow students enrolling to the March intake apply on time. The placement service will also consider applicants who sat for KCSE exams between 2000 and 2004 to enable them to enroll in the institutions for the March intake, while those who plans to receipt for the exams this year will have a chance to apply for the KMTC and TVET programs with the improved grades in September. The portal will remain open for 21 days, and in February 14, 2025, date for applications for the degree programs are yet to be announced. All right, moving on to some tragic story now. And detectives in Nakuru are investigating a fire that tragically claimed the life of 83-year-old Leah Wanjiru Kamau. The incident occurred on Friday night at her home in Mbaruk, Stage 1. According to Gilgil Sub-County Police Commander Winston Mwakio, the fire broke out while Leah was asleep, destroying her home of over 50 years. The authorities initially suspect the blaze was accidental. However, they are considering the possibility of foul play after reports surfaced of an internal land dispute that may have been contributing factor. The elderly woman's body has been preserved at Gilgil Sub-County Hospital as investigators continue to gather information and work to determine the cause of the fire.
Na tukaaja kuendelea pamoja na yeye kwa kanisa letu la EIC, na tukaendelea na yeye kabisa. Yeye ni mama wa kanisa,
na tukakuja hapa ushirika na yeye, na hakukuwa na ubaya yoyote, na tukaendelea vizuri na ushirika, na tukamaliza vizuri sababu tuliiba vizuri na yeye, na hakukuwa na ubaya yoyote. Na kama mimi rafiki yake, na tukaiba bibo yake, tukaiba bibo na yeye, hakukuwa na ubaya yoyote.
Tulimpenda sana na kumdhamini kama kanisa, na pale kanisani alikuwa kiungo cha muhimu sana. Na kwa sababu hiyo kama kanisa tunahisi ya kwamba tumeachwa, na tunamwamini Mungu tu kwamba nafasi yake ataizimba.
Right, some tragic story right there, and our condolences to the family and friends. Moving on, leaders from Murang'a, led by Maragua MP Mary Wamaua, alongside residents from the Kiharu constituency, have expressed their discontent with Deputy President Kithure Kindiki over his recent remarks comparing Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro to a chief's assistant. The remarks have sparked a political uproar in the region, with Mary condemning the Deputy President's comments as inflammatory and divisive. Speaking out against Kindiki's statements, MP Mary Wamaua stated that such comments were intended to stoke political tensions in the area and should not have come from the senior government leader like Kindiki. She emphasized that such remarks were inappropriate and detrimental to political unity in the region. Residents of Kiharu, on the other hand, voiced their strong support for their MP Ndindi Nyoro, applauding his work in the constituency. They criticized Kindiki's comments and called for more respect for their elected leaders. The residents also expressed a desire for Nyoro to be accorded the same level of respect that he extends to other leaders, stressing that political leaders should maintain mutual respect regardless of their affiliations.
Sahi hizo temperatures ambazo zimeamuka za kisiasa ndizo zimefanya jana kusikia koligi wangu, my immediate neighbor Dede Nyoro akinyoroshwa na akiambiwa yeye ni kama assistant chief. Your Excellency, does it mean assistant chief hana maana yake mpaka tumefika tukitaka kuonyesha mtu hakuna venye anakaa tunatumia jina ya assistant chief na venye tuna value assistant chief kwa ile kazi wanafanyia serikali hii kutoka pale kwa kijiji. Na kama Dede Nyoro kuna makosa amefanya, wacha tumuongereshe kwa heshima. Hii ndio wakati tunatakiwa kupoesha na kumwagiria maji temperature zote ambazo zimeinuka na tena sana upande wa Mount Kenya region.
It's so unfortunate to our deputy president to call our MP a sub chief. Tunataka tumwambie hivi, Bwana Kindiki, tunakuheshimu sana. Wewe ndiye second in command wa Kenya. Lakini kusema kuita MP wetu Dede Nyoro yeye ni sub chief, atungedhania maongezi kama hiyo inaweza toka kinywa cha deputy president. Manake ile kazi ambayo Dede Nyoro amefanya hapa, tuliona juzi MPs from all over the country walikuwa wamekuja kusoma ile kazi Dede Nyoro anafanya hapa. Na tunauliza kama sub chief ambaye ni Dede Nyoro mwenye unaita sub chief anaweza fanya hiyo kazi. You are the deputy president of the Kenya. Wewe umefanyia watu wa kwenyu nini? Huko Dharakanizi kuna wakati tulikuona huko. Ulikuwa umeenda huko kujenga nyumba ya matope. Dede Nyoro hakuna hata class moja amejenga ya matope. So it's so unfortunate for the deputy president to call an MP a sub chief.
Tumehuzunika sana sisi kama wakazi wa Kiharu. Kwa maana naibu wa rais ambaye ni Kithure Kindiki tunamheshimu sana na tunamrespect sana kama naibu wa rais, lakini yeye hatufurahishi kwa maana hakuna vile anaweza kuja kwa ground aite mheshimiwa wetu Dede Nyoro atiamuite kama amulinganishe na assistant chief. Huyu ni kiongozi ambaye tumemchagua, ni kiongozi ambaye anajulikana nchi yetu ya Kenya, ni kiongozi ambaye anaheshimika, na tungeomba pia naibu wa rais na wale viongozi wengine wote waheshimu MP wetu.
All right, moving on, Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration Kipchumba Murkomen has directed the Inspector General of Police to immediately track down, dismantle and eradicate criminal gangs terrorizing various regions across Kenya. Murkomen emphasized that public servants, including national government officers and police officers found facilitating these criminal activities will be fired and face charges. Addressing the media in Diani, Murkomen stressed that politicians financing or benefiting from such gangs will also be held accountable regardless of their political status or position. He urged law enforcement to conduct thorough investigations to ensure the prosecution of those responsible.
The strategic objectives are to enhance professionalism and accountability, strengthen the operational preparedness and logistical capacity, promote public trust and confidence, improve welfare and motivation of officers, and support government efforts in mitigating climate change. The expected outcome include effectiveness of the administration police service, motivated service personnel, improved operational preparedness and logistical capacity, close working relationship with members of the public, and adoption of environmentally friendly guidelines for the service. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, many offenses and security threats are enabled by digital technology. The ability to detect, disrupt, deter, and investigate these threats depends on our capacity to operate effectively in a high-tech environment. I bring you an assurance from His Excellency the President that he is committed to supporting you and us together in the realization of these objectives and plans for in this roadmap. I would also like to assure you that we will work with your leadership to address issues around social welfare, training, better equipment, and other matters that concern a dignified working environment for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is fully cognizant of the fact that the Administration Police Service is an invaluable component of the security infrastructure in this country. Your contribution to the silencing of the guns in the North Rift and other parts of the country which have been prone to banditry is highly commendable. You have also been instrumental in our fight against the terrorism, stabilizing disturbed areas, and securing Kenya-Somalia border. The government applauds and appreciates your effort in this endeavor. The Macharia Task Force report also recommended the establishment of structure through regional, county, police division, sub-county, and locational formations to ensure that the National Police Service supports the national government administration.
While at the same time, Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has officially launched the National Government Administration Police Unit, that is NGAPU, aimed at supporting government agencies in enforcing administrative functions and ensuring effective security operations across the country. The establishment of the NGAPU is a direct response to the Macharia Task Force report, which recommended the creation of structures to enable the National Police Service to support the national government administration in performing its security duties. This new unit will bolster the efforts of national government administrative officers in managing security and fulfilling their responsibilities in various administrative units nationwide.
And locational formations to ensure that the National Police Service supports the national government administration in the performance of its security functions through deployment of general duty officer with clear command and reporting structures. Today, we are launching the National Government Administration Police Unit NGAPU to fill the gap in our security setup pursuant to Section 10H of the National Police Service Act of 2011. The main role of this unit is to support government agencies in enforcing their administrative functions, especially in conflict management and peace building. This unit will go a long way in supporting the national government administration officers across all administrative units in the country to enforce government directives, effect policies, and in maintaining law and order. I was thinking, IG, that in line with this kind of transformation, I think we need to find also a place for the NPR around this concept, the NPR officers. We want all the NPRs across the country to be able to have clarity of command in terms of the persons they are going to report to. And I think this is the place that they are going to report to. And that is extremely also important for us.
Right, moving on to matters politics now. The Tharaka Governor Muthomi Njoki has urged politicians in the Mount Kenya region to set aside talks of forming new political vehicles and instead prioritize the development of the region. Speaking in Meru, where he was the chief guest at a cultural event uniting Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties, Governor Njoki described the debate over new political outfits as premature and counterproductive. The event, held under the theme "Two Counties, One People," so Njoki emphasized the need for the region to focus on development rather than political divisions. He expressed concerns that while other parts of the country are focusing on the economic growth and development, the Mount Kenya region appears consumed with political infighting.
Leo nikiwa nakuja hapa nilisikia sauti from Kisii wakisema kwamba they are coming up with a new political party. When you start talking about political parties, are you thinking work or you are thinking politics? Hiyo ni siasa ama ni kazi? Siasa. Nikafika hapa nikasikia kuna pahali nasikia kuna viongozi wawili wamekutana katika Mount Kenya East. Pia wanataka kutengeza chama. Na wakati wa kutengeza chama, juu unaniangalia ni kama unafikiria naongea siasa, siongei siasa. Wakati wa kutengeza chama, badala ya kuwa na mikutano ya majani na kahawa na maziwa, ile mikutano utakuwa unasikia ni mikutano ya chama. Ya kutengeza chama ya nini? Ya siasa. Kuna kazi itafanyika kweli? So I'm asking our people for now, let us try and focus on delivering for the people as leaders. Let us demand from our government what they promised us during elections. Wakati wa kuunda chama na kufanya siasa itafika. Na sisi watu wa Meru hatuko nyuma kwa hiyo. We usually don't need a lot of time. I remember one time we put up a party in 6 months. Na ikapata wajumbe, na ikapata senator, na ikapata MCS. Ama mkumbuke hivyo? Si tulikuwa na basi? But we had worked throughout. 6 months to election, tutatengeza party. That is who we are, our Meru people. So naomba tusiende hiyo njia. ya kufanya siasa ya mapema, alafu ile vitu yote tulikuwa tumeahidiwa ipotelee because temperature inaonyesha ni siasa na ni siasa. Imebaki miaka 2.5 ili tupige kura. Miaka 2 imepita, and all of you know that where we are as Kenya. Kulikuwa na issue ya Gen Zs, kulikuwa na issue ya resources, change of regime ya taxes, na ile kazi mingi ambayo ingekuwa imefanyika haijafanyika. We are therefore asking our people both in Tharaka Nithi and Meru County to give the government of the day an opportunity to work, so that they don't say that tuliwavuruga wasifanye nini, wasifanye kazi.
Alright, it is exactly 30 minutes past the top of the hour. That's now to wrap up our bulletin here at EBN Weekend Edition. My name is Macharia signing off. Do have yourself a lovely night. Remember to go to church tomorrow. And as always, let's meet again when God says we do.